Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, who can be a leader, or
Pardon?
what? Who can be a leader, or what one should do to bring out the leader in oneself?
Uh, See, according to Mahabharata and according to modern Western stuff that's coming out from Harvard and all that, the word leader is passé. There is no such thing as a leader. Okay, there's something called leadership. What is leadership? There is a difficult situation and somebody takes charge of dealing with that difficult situation. That is leadership. Okay. And what the Mahabharata says is there are 5 types of leadership. Yeah? So there's a certain type of leadership when everything is peaceful, you have to create order. So Yudhishthira is the kind of leadership capability that allows you to create order when there is chaos. Yeah? There are situations which require war. So who do you need to be the leader at that time? Yudhishthira coming and saying, let's follow standard operating procedure. Will you be able to win the war? You can't. You need a Bhima. Right? And then you need times when you have to heal people. There is sorrow. Neither Bhima nor Yudhishthira is an adequate person at that time. You need Nakula type of characteristics. You need innovation. You need a quiet guy like Sahadeva who's really thinking through. And every now and again, you need somebody to ask, are we doing the right thing? You need 5 types of capabilities. All of us will have one or the other. Sometimes in combination. So you discover, and discovering is not difficult at all. You read some stories, you know which is the hero that's making sense to you. Right? Or in different situations when you play games, there are so many situations in which you discover this is my propensity. And don't fall for this Western thing of competency. Huh? Competency is like saying everybody must be a Gadadhari. Right? Imagine giving Sahadeva, who's a great guy with a spear, a Gada, and asking him to fight because that is what leadership is all about. Very stupid. Right? Each of us has a propensity. We are gifted with certain capabilities inside. You have to grow this. And in different contexts, each of you will find leadership possibilities. You have to stand up and act. You'll make mistakes, learn. The problem is because somebody thinks I'm a leader, and at times when it's not appropriate, he's still trying to be a leader instead of giving up. Yeah. So if even Harvard accepts it, man, it must be true. Yeah. If somebody said something is said in Mahabharata 5,000 years ago, how can it be true? But Harvard is saying it today. Imagine. And Harvard is saying polarity and paradox is important. Can you imagine? So it must be true.
The last question.
Yeah? Yeah. Speak into the mic.
Yeah. Sir, in the case of Arjuna, we know that Arjuna was from a higher platform, from a dominant family, and therefore he was able to make it to the top. But we know that many people from the lower platform, with the same intensity, with the same questioning power, with the same hard work, was not able to make it to the top or was not gifted as Arjuna. We are not talking about them. They were.
We are talking about them also in the Mahabharata.
But still, he is not given as such a strong.
No, that is, I understand your question. That is, if you read the Mahabharata only from one point of view. Yeah. Mahabharata is also a story of failure of society. Okay? There are 3 people who are very similar to Arjuna. There is Arjuna, there is Karna, and there is Draupadi. They're all very, very similar in many capabilities, many characteristics and all that. Now the failure of that society at that point of time is also something you have to learn from. The failure of that society was Bhishma and all of these people could not get beyond their biases of recognizing a great hero for who he is. So Karna became a Sutaputra instead of becoming a great hero. That time that society did not know how to protect a woman at a certain point of time of vulnerability. That created war. If that society had learned how to deal with Karna and how to deal with Draupadi, there would be no war. You don't have to read these books in very narrow ways. You have to look at the whole context. So are you concerned with society today? Are you concerned that there are people in society today whose true merit is not being recognized? Are you concerned that there are women, there are people who are vulnerable, who are not being protected by society as it is today? Stand up and fight. That's the story. Doesn't matter if you succeed or fail, stand up and fight. And also you must read history, because the history reality is that till a certain period of time, India was ruled by a variety of people. So this whole thing of upper caste, lower caste is a phenomenon that is more recent than you think. It happened at the time of the census. At some point of time, the British needed to prove the theories of Darwin. So they used India as a guinea pig, and we've swallowed that crap. So it's a very sad thing. Because if you really go into it, even today, I am a Brahmin. Before my Purnal, I am given a staff. And I am given other things, because the question is, what do you want to do? நீ எடையனா போக போறியா இல்லைன்னா படிப்புக்கு பின்னாடி போறியா இதுக்கு பின்னாடி போறியான்னு கேட்கணும் கொஸ்டினை. எனக்கு கேட்க தெரியல என்னோட எல்டர்ஸ். Then I make a choice and find a teacher who is appropriate for me. So if I choose to go into study, they tell me a few things. So don't confuse a social decadent reality because of certain forms of history and other things with the principles of the philosophy. If you want to learn, go back to the principles and act from the principle. The principle is, if any society does not know how to respect true merit, if it does not know how to protect its weak, it's not a society worth sustaining. What are you going to do? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this scintillating talk, for spending your valuable time and knowledge with us. Our profuse gratitude. I request Uday Kumar ji to kindly come and felicitate Anantanarayanan ji for his talk with a memento. Just for your information, there are 10 copies of his book Leadership Dharma available for purchase here. If anybody else wants a copy, you can also place an order with us. This is just for your information. I now request Dr. U.K.V. Sharma to deliver the vote of thanks.
सभाये नमः. So after listening these small talks, I immediately got reminded of a beautiful statement from Ramayana. Kritecha pratikartavyam esha dharma sanatanaha, which means once we are helped by anybody, it makes sense, it is our duty to revert back to them in any form of help, in the form of showing our gratitude to them. So thus we are also, since we are all sort of, at least some of them definitely enthralled by the insightful talk of the two important speakers here. Professor Raghu Anandanarayanan, the author of the book Leadership Dharma, for the interaction that he had with the students also. We are quite grateful to you, sir. Thank you. And many of us keep reading various books, but what happens if we start reading something intensely with whatever the kind of queries that he has said to us, oh, who am I, such questions. That intensity generally makes any person to get into the deeper levels of any subject for that matter. Importantly, these epics, itihasas, though they repeat the same statements, but the heaviness, the weight is something different from the people who simply in the material way repeat the statements. So what I want to convey here is some amount of tapasya, whoever have undergone, definitely whenever they speak, they convey something apart from the subject matter. Anandavardhana beautifully says, Pratiyamanam punar anyadeva vastvastivani mahakavina. So here, Adinarayanan sir also, having contemplated on Mahabharata and various topics, and having done tapasya, and whenever he spoke, one could see that the amount of the heaviness, the intensity. So that really any sensible audience convinces, and whoever genuine enough and sensible enough also, they themselves get into the practice too. So for his wonderful short speech, we are really grateful to him too. Thank you, sir. So we received uninterrupted support from the management in organizing this program. So hence we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dean Engineering Shashankan Ramanathan sir and Deputy Dean Engineering Mahadevan sir and others important people. And all the HODs, faculty members, students of Amrita definitely deserve the vote of thanks as well. And we thank in particular Team ICTS, Team Multimedia and all the people who made this event possible for their cooperation and support. Thanks one and all. Thank you. Namah Shivaya.
We are concluding the session. Please go back to your classes very quietly. It's already 11 o'clock, so we will end the session here. Thank you very much. Namaskar.